Okay, here's a quick overview on the mistakes I made when I was trying to do the oiling mods.
This front passage here, I actually missed the entire thing. It looked like this, boom. Okay, it actually missed the galley. That's way out of line. But that's actually a good thing, because then with this other side being over, well, all I would have had to do is just put a set screw in here. That would have kept the oil out of the water, and everything else would have worked perfectly. And I drilled this one oversized, and that would have been fed from the factory side. Still fed from the factory side. But on number 3 is where the difficulty came in, because with this one, I went in on an angle such that it hit water and the oil galley. But on that one there, I was just gonna drill the other side out. I thought I could just drill the other side out, put a tube in the oil galley right in that section, and that one actually would have worked. Anyway, you'll have to see the next video for the information on that hole.
I'm learning a lot about the oiling system on a small block Mopar. I thought I could fix this block by drilling to the other oil galley, and I did. I struck oil. I actually hit the oil galley by building the jig. But the block itself, where it's not drilled to the other side, there's not a lot of beef right there.
Here's the little jig I built. I had it set up on here, and this thing actually worked really good. And I went with the 9/6 straight to the 9/32 because I figured the bigger drill would follow its path better. So, and I clamped it down with this valve spring compressor, got it all clamped down. I mean, and that thing worked great. And what I did is, when I built it off the other ones, off the factory, using that factory angle, and just brazed this on. I actually tapped it and threaded it, and I tried twice. I couldn't get the thing threaded exactly straight with a pipe tap, eyeballing it with another drill in there, so I ended up having to oversize that hole just a little bit, run the drill through and get it perfectly straight, and then I just brazed it with the drill into the block. And then I double checked it on this end, the one that was the factory drilled hole this way, that I'd messed up on. And so I mounted it on here and drilled it. But check this out. What I didn't notice was the factory oil feeds for the mains are slightly offset. And whenever I drilled this, I lined it right up with the cam, thinking that's the exact center of that journal. But from the factory also, it's slightly offset, but it has more beef here. And as you can see, it gets real thin here. And look what happened. It came out the side, and then right when I was going into the oil galley, it actually hit just a little bit of water inside there by the cylinder, because I went two sizes down, then I went one size down, and it drilled right into the galley perfectly. But when I was drilling with the bigger bit, it came out of the side of the block. And if you look at all these main oil feeds, there's more beef, and the front one, being this drilled both ways, they put more beef on both sides leading down to the oil galley. So this one here has more beef on both sides, so they could drill both of those. But the 3 center ones, they cheesed out, and they made these real thin. So even if I would have had that offset with that oversized drill, maybe a 1/4 inch might have worked, but the 9/32, I mean, it would have been having to be exact not to come out the side of the block, because it's so thin right there in these passages.
So anyway, I tried. What I was going to do is, if I could drill that one, plug the other side, and then just put a small tube, I could just tube one section of the oil gallery where it was messed up in the top, and then it would have worked perfect. I mean, everything would have worked like it was supposed to. The crossover tube would have fed the opposite side, and the other 4 mains would have been fed just like they were from the factory, with the 5/16 openings.
and I was going to run a 9/32 to feed the center one to the other gallery, but again, I didn't have it quite centered, and there's also less beef in there. So even though I hit the galley perfectly with that jig, I wasn't lined up. So this is a practice block, and yeah, happy days. Next.